is this day important? Because we're honoring all of those who gave their all. In other words, they gave their lives so that we may be here today.
I pray daily for all the members in the armed forces, and it's just something that is in our blood and our family.
And salute. 2.
That's what it's all about today. We're honoring all the men and women.
To me personally, this is a very significant day. That's my father, Robert Roundtree. He was a Master Sergeant in the United States Army, served during World War II, Korea, and Vietnam. We came down specifically to be here today. These bricks were dedicated today, this year, and we just felt we wanted to be here. Not just for my father, but for all veterans, past and present.
We're getting older, and we want to bring some of these young folks in here and they'll know what this is all about, so they'll continue this tradition in the future after we've long gone.
The storm cellar at Larry Wells' house was finished 3 weeks ago. That's right, just 3 weeks ago. He helped his wife into it as the tornado churned down his street.
We couldn't hear all the debris. We couldn't hear anything but the roar of the storm. It was literally like standing behind a jet airplane revving up to take off.
When they emerged, they were surrounded by destruction. And for 3 days now, he and relatives have tunneled into the carnage.
We know we're not going to find much. My wife and I have been married 43 years, so we've had a lot of memories from, souvenirs, mementos, things like that.
But to his wife, the most important thing buried in here is her wicker needlepoint basket. Somewhere in this damp debris are 12 cloth squares for what she hopes will be an heirloom quilt for her grandchildren. She's worked on it 3 months and doesn't have time to start over. She's dying of cancer. And when Shelley Wells arrived in her red Jeep, she gets good news. They found it.
Thank you, Lord.
Shelley's sister is in tears.
How important was this to find?
Her life, so she could finish it for her grandbabies. They can hold on to memories, but this is something they can physically and tangibly hold on to.
I can't begin to thank people, and that's all I can say. That and God bless you.
Soon, these squares of tractors and cars will be sewn into a quilt. The colors have bled a little, but Shelley says that's okay. When she's gone, it will tell the story of what the quilt endured, the family who searched so hard to find the parts, and the grandmother who wanted more than anything to leave another memory. In Moore, Oklahoma, Mike Mather, News Channel 3.
Norfolk cops say a drunken Lamont Davis stole that ambulance and crashed it into 4 cars on Collie last night.
It's just really sad.
Meredith Brown's white Corolla was in the line of fire. It's since been towed, and she believes it's totaled.
Front end is completely smushed in. The engine is completely ruined.
Saki Go's Camry partially crushed.
The right rear tire just fell apart. Yeah, the rear just fell apart.
Centera Norfolk General ambulance drivers usually keep the trucks running even when they're not in them, so they can be ready to hit the road for the next emergency. Cops say Davis jumped behind the wheel at the staging area and took off. Tire tracks show where the driver jumped the median before hitting the cars, just a few blocks from the hospital. Police say Davis tried to run away, but cops caught up to him. And to get another idea of just how rough that impact was, look at the ground. You can see all the debris from the cars near that street, but then it crosses over the sidewalk near the homes, and we also found more glass and debris right here about a half a block down near Westover.
Ghent's supposed to be a safe area to live in and a fun area to live in, and we shouldn't have to worry about this.
News Channel 3 found nearly a dozen drunken public arrests in Davis's history in the last 3 years, the most recent 10 days ago.
We were parked here safely last night, and I don't feel that any of us should be responsible and have to pay for this. It's not our fault.
It's not clear if Davis even has insurance. News Channel 3 reached out to him for his side of the story, but he declined an interview. In Norfolk, Jessica Larche, News Channel 3.
The feeling that I had when I woke up to somebody raping me was, this is not consensual. At no point did I consent to this.
Amber Mathwig joined the Navy to serve her country after 9/11, but instead she got a harsh lesson about the bigger war the military is fighting, the war on sexual assault. Her own personal horrors happened after she met 2 fellow sailors out at a local bar.
And I trusted them. They were Navy. They were stationed with somebody that I had known for several years and trusted very much. and there was something put into my drink and I was raped.
Unfortunately, Amber is not alone. In the last 5 years, more than 500 cases of sexual assault have been reported to NCIS inside Navy Region Mid-Atlantic, which includes the ships and commands right here in Hampton Roads. That includes 95 open cases currently being investigated. And only News Channel 3 has the actual reports detailing the crimes. Hit in the face, then raped in a car, choked to the ground, and forced into having sex after saying no. A woman's cries and screams for her attacker to stop, captured on an accidental phone call. These real-life stories happen to women right here in Hampton Roads who came forward to report their crimes. Amber, though, was one of so many thousands of others who stayed silent.
I wouldn't have been believed because I had been drinking.
And who could fault her, looking through some of the cases right here in Hampton Roads? A USS Wasp officer refusing to pursue charges in an alleged rape, calling it a he said, she said case. A suspect aboard the carrier Truman, failing a polygraph and admitting he assaulted a woman, but the ship's commander still deciding that no action would be taken. When something is done, the punishment pales in comparison to the crime. Many times guilty sailors only get extra duty, a loss of pay, and a reduction in rank.
They need to lose their careers. They need to be kicked out of the military.
But these reports show many cases come down to who is more credible. Unfortunately for junior sailors, many times their attackers are their direct bosses. Like this work center supervisor on the USS Cole, who sexually assaulted a woman he was in charge of. Or this senior chief on the USS Gravely, who assaulted multiple female crew members while deployed.
Unless there is severe physical evidence supporting the assault, it's just going to be like, well, he's more reliable than her.
And if you are accusing an officer, the statistics are even worse. The sailor aboard the USS Ashland said her commander fondled and groped her while she was alone in his office. The suspect told agents he only touched her to inspect the length of her pants. His case declined for prosecution. In fact, News Channel 3 only found 2 cases in the last 5 years where officers were court-martialed, found guilty of rape, and sentenced to jail time in the brig. One of them was aboard the USS Kearsarge. Amber was actually serving as a military police officer on board at the time.
People loved him. He was very charismatic. He took care of his sailors.
But this 23-year officer made a mistake, leaving behind marks after he choked and bit his enlisted sailor while raping her.
One case where nobody questioned the victim because she had very physical evidence that she had not participated in the assault.
Cases that actually see a military courtroom are few and far between because the option of a court-martial lies solely with the commanding officer. News Channel 3 learned they even have the power to supersede or stop NCIS investigations. When a sexual assault was reported at an air squadron based at Oceana, the commanding officer told NCIS he was going to handle this investigation himself in-house because he could do what he wanted.
Obviously, in this one area, there's become a lack of confidence in the credibility of what's going on there, and our military members deserve to be able to have confidence in their judicial system.
Virginia Beach Commonwealth Attorney Harvey Bryant was appointed to the Pentagon's new panel on sexual assault, created to make changes to the military justice system. Those who have been there, like Amber, hope whatever they decide will help bring back faith for victims. Out of 26,000 sexual assaults in the military last year, less than 4,000 people filed a report.
It's no wonder that people don't want to report, because why would you want to destroy your career?